Hey guys, how's it going? Ryan here, back with another episode of the Deep Thoughts podcast, a podcast talking about all big picture Twitch news. Joining me, of course, is my lovable and best slash worst co-host that we determined from last week, Pixel underscore Pusher 101. Pixel, how you doing?
I am doing all right. Just chilling on this fine Sunday evening.
Yep. It is Sunday, guys. I know that this is going to be a special treat for some of you people because usually we record the podcast on Tuesdays, but I won't be able to do it on Tuesday, so we're switching it to today, Sunday. And to be fair, we had enough show notes we were set with the show notes around Friday evening, and I think we had enough articles to cover so that even if something is to come out in the next couple of days or whatever, I think we'll be fine with holding it off probably.
Oh yeah.
So I think we have some really good articles today. We have, a couple, 3 or 4 articles to go over. 3 of them being kind of like, little lax, and then we have a pretty big article to discuss and talk about that I think will pertain to everyone's interest. A little teaser for that, but it's just a look into how much Twitch streamers or just content creators in general potentially can make. So I think that's pretty interesting to talk about. If this is your guys' first time listening to the podcast, this is Deep Thoughts podcast. Me and my friend here, Pixel, talk about all big picture Twitch news. We usually stream this live, if you're an audio listener on twitch.tv/Ryan Kubo every Tuesday around 9 p.m. PST, 9:30 p.m. PST. And then you guys receive the audio recordings about 12 hours after we are done live streaming. So if you guys are listening to the audio, keep doing it. I really appreciate you guys for checking out the audios on iTunes and other various sources. But if you guys ever want to, you can join us on the live stream as well to watch us record it and see what our faces look like, basically. Is pretty much all it is. Anyway, a couple of announcements that we have. This is probably going to be the last time I talk about it until it actually gets approved. But I know a lot of people have been asking, dude, where's Spotify? How long is Spotify going to take? It's going to take a while, guys. I have been looking at other podcasters who are a way bigger following than ours does, and they have just gotten approved on Spotify, and they submitted maybe about a month or two ago. I'm not really sure what the issue is with Spotify, why it takes so long, etc. But our podcast was on there. And then it got removed, I think, because we changed the album art or something, and now it's not getting back up on there for some reason. And it's not a glitch, and there's nothing I can do. It just says distribution pending, and I can't unpend it and resubmit it. So from what it seems like, it just seems like it's gonna take a while, unfortunately. So
that sucks.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, we'll let you guys know in another announcement on the podcast if we get back on there. Next up, we just wanted to mention that we wanted to remind you guys to please rate and review our podcast on our various podcast sources, whether that be iTunes or Anchor or Stitcher. It does really help us out, guys. It basically gives the podcast more credibility. Also, when you look up the podcast, just random people looking for new podcasts and they type in Twitch news, the rated ones will be shown up first. So it just gives our podcast a little bit more visibility and credibility. If you guys do end up rating the podcast on any of the various podcast platforms, we will give you a shout out, read your review and stuff like that. So in your review, don't forget to plug your Twitch or something if you want to get a little sellouty as well. Thirdly, just wanted to remind you guys that we are just to subscribe, I guess I should say, to the podcast on the various podcast sources. Subscribing is the same as on YouTube, basically, or a follow on Twitch. Basically means that when you subscribe, the episodes as they come out will be automatically downloaded to your devices. That way you don't have to individually download each and every episode, which is really nice. It's kind of a set it and forget it type of thing. And then second to last thing, just a reminder that we do have a YouTube channel for the podcast. If you guys do want to watch the VODs, that's youtube.com/Shigeos, SHIGEOS, Twitch TV. All one word, all lowercase, if you want to go check out the VODs from there. As well as we have probably the worst Twitter handle known to man, but until I can get the Deep Thoughts Twitter handle taken away and given to us, I can't really do anything. But if you guys do want to follow the Twitter, it is twitter.com/D, capital D, capital DHOUGHTS, capital POD. It's awful. Pixel's laughing at me right now because he knows how awful that is. It's an awful handle. It's the only thing I could get. So,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, follow that if you want to get updates on Twitter about it. It's just announcements of like what we're recording, when the next podcast will be held, etc. Also, follow. I don't have a Vanity Discord link, unfortunately, but for any of you people watching the VOD or watching the live stream or listening, if you go to my twitch.tv/Ryan Kubo and scroll down, there is a link for our Discord. There is a channel in that Discord that titled DeepThoughts Podcast, where as on Twitter or on Discord as well, I should say, there is a feed there as well where I post announcements about when the next episode is going to be, when the episodes are available, etc., etc. So it's pretty much another version of Twitter, if you would, and I decided to do that for everyone. And then, yeah, so announcements out of the way. Pixel, how are you doing? How's your week been? How's it been since Tuesday, basically, since I last saw you? Spoiler, I might have saw you earlier, but how is everything?
No, it's been going really well. I actually met up with Ryan over here over the weekend. We got out and got some dumplings.
Yeah, it was super good, actually.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite dumpling spots in LA. It's like my favorite, absolute favorite.
Yeah. So yeah, I ended up driving up there. Took about an hour, and then we got there an hour early, and then we realized by like a stroke of luck that it was open an hour earlier on Saturdays. So we were planning to eat at like 11:30, and it was open at like 10 when we basically got there, which I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we're like, yeah, this is great. Let's go eat. And it was totally empty, and we got our food within like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was super cool. So it was really good. Thanks for inviting me out, Pixel. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, man. And you can see all that on our social medias as well, which we'll plug later on in the stream. But besides that, that is it for our personal lives and for any announcements. Let's jump right into the news, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So Twitch Prime is giving out some free loot, guys. Get hyped. It's pretty sick. I don't know how to pronounce this, but you can get the Assassin's Creed Odyssey Aegean Pirate Pack.
Yeah, it's like the Greek Aegean Islands, I think.
Oh, okay. Skin pack if you link your Twitch Prime with your Amazon Prime and redeem this between October 2nd and December 5th, 2018. Apparently, the pack contains a rare gear set of a mount, some pirate gear, a ship design, and a theme, and there's directions below on how to get those things. To be honest, I have not played an Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed 1. Then I skipped Assassin's Creed, and I think I played the one that was in America. And that's my extent of Assassin's Creed. So I'm not a huge fan of Assassin's Creed, so I won't be getting this. I don't have the new one anyway.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah. Pixel, thoughts on Assassin's Creed?
I mean, they look cool. I mean, I'm the same way. I haven't played Assassin's Creed since like the first one, and I'm not well versed in the game at all. But the designs in this pack look pretty cool. I mean,
yeah,
just look at that armor. It's sick.
Yeah, I mean, Assassin's Creed's one of those games where it would have been better if it didn't come out like every single week or every single year, I feel like. But it feels like every single week sometimes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that would have been like a lot better or whatever. I will say that the Assassin's Creed game for the one that was based in America was actually pretty cool. It was an alternative timeline where George Washington was actually secretly like a villain. And he was like wanted to run the country as like a dictatorship and stuff like that. So that one was pretty cool. But I mean, beyond that, yeah, whatever. I mean, there's not much we can say, unfortunately. But yeah, if you guys do have Assassin's Creed, the latest one that came out, you can go grab those skins right now. But yeah, on to the next article that we have for you guys. The NFL, the National Football League, is on Twitch, and it just got a little better. This I thought was really, really interesting. This has been out for a couple weeks, but I didn't really find an article about it. I saw some like very vague tweets about the whole topic and the whole situation. But apparently Twitch struck a deal with twitch.tv/Prime Video, and they will be airing NFL coverage on Twitch. And they have also included a brand new overlay extension where you can check out stats and real-time stats of the game and itself. And then also certain streamers will be co-streaming the NFL games as well. A couple weeks ago, Gold Glove co-streamed it, and then after that, Tim the Tatman co-streamed it with his own commentary. So I thought this is pretty cool. I'm not a football guy or a sports ball person in general, but I mean, it's pretty cool to see this type of stuff happen and to be able to watch it. And I feel like Twitch chat makes anything better. What are your thoughts, Pixel?
No, I think it totally makes Twitch makes anything better when you have Twitch chat. Like, the reason we all come to Twitch is because of the commentary and, well, Twitch chat. Like, you can't get that experience anywhere else. And watching sports on Twitch, it just kind of adds to the feeling of it. You know, it's kind of like watching it in a group. And you can't get that feeling unless you go to like a sports bar, you have friends over. And if you don't have a lot of friends that enjoy sports, this is a way to just have fun together.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. It's interesting just because the channel itself is very generic, and so it shows that Twitch is probably planning to continue to push these type of events. Maybe not just with sports, but with other maybe Twitch Prime original series, which I think would be very, very interesting idea for them to do for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's Twitch Prime videos, so I could see them, I don't know, just airing a bunch of other Twitch Prime type of stuff. And it's interesting because when you, if you're on Twitch Prime video streaming app and you want to watch football on there, it actually opens it up on Twitch. So I think I feel like it's also bringing a lot of normies and people who might not know what Twitch is from Amazon into the fold of what Twitch is, and kind of getting them like exposed to it by like showing off like a mainstream type of thing.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. It's kind of like how Heroes of the Storm was on ESPN at one point.
yeah,
It's just introducing esports and I guess internet culture to a new audience, and this is a good way of doing that by just kind of easing them in.
Or even like Evo, the fighting game tournament, has premiered on Disney Channel as well as ESPN this past summer. They did all the top 8 finals on Disney Channel and on ESPN. Like ESPN 1 or 2, so that was pretty interesting too. Also, kind of a side note with this as well is that you can cheer for charity. From what the blog says, it says cheering for your favorite team, whether you're in the stands or yelling at your screen, is one of the best parts about being a fan. Now it can also be a way to show support of a good cause. During all our Thursday Night Football podcasts, for every 100 bits cheered on twitch.tv/Prime Video, Twitch will donate $1 to the American Cancer Society. So I think that's also pretty cool too. They take a little bit. They take like a small cut of it, but from you already buying bits. But then at the same time, at least they're donating something to cancer. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty cool. It's always good to do some type of like charity type of stuff as well. You know?
Yeah, totally, man.
So yeah, but yeah, I should also mention that it's only on Thursdays. So I didn't even know football played on the weekdays. To be honest, I thought it was like Sunday football. Like Sunday football was a thing.
There used to be like a Monday thing, like Monday Night Football was another thing.
Oh, okay. So I guess it's only on Thursdays. So it's only like select games, I guess. But I mean, either way, I mean that's pretty cool as well. I am in a fantasy draft for football, which I don't know who I picked, but I'm currently in second place. So I'm winning this fantasy draft, and the top 3 losers of my fantasy draft have to get a trophy made for the top 3 winners of the fantasy draft, and the trophy can say anything. So I believe like last time, like my friends made one that was like best babysitter or something 2017, and I was the fantasy trophy or something. But they pull all like the money from everything to be able to do it or whatever. So that's pretty funny as well.
Nice.
So apparently that's what is happening or whatever on Twitch with the football stuff. I think it shows a lot of potential for Prime Video in the future.
It does. I think they're only scratching the surface with what they can do as far as like promotions go and just reach in general.
Yeah. I definitely see them too as well. Like what they've wanted to do for a while is to be able to like branch out into branch out into like more of the normie culture, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like they really want to get, I think like Amazon is going to really be pushing in the next year to be able to really get more Amazon users onto Twitch, because I think they said like only 2% or 3% of Twitch, like of Amazon users, use Twitch Prime.
Really?
Yeah, or something like that. So
Hmm.
it's something like it's something really low like that, and I feel like they're like, oh man, we could get a lot more people on Amazon using Twitch. You know what I mean? Because Twitch is still not like Twitch is still not like a household name. I feel like it's getting there, but I
Yeah.
feel like we're in the first like wave of that, especially with like the whole Fortnite craze and celebrities getting onto it. So
Sure. Yeah.
it's smart for them to do something like this Twitch Prime video type of stuff. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The more people that are on Twitch, I mean, the more Amazon's going to make.
Exactly. So we'll see. Okay. So next up, unless there's anything else you want to say about the NFL Pixel.
No, that's it.
Okay. Next up, we have a thing, Reddit post, created about 3 days ago by a Twitch user named twitch.tv/hourhawk. So thanks to him for posting this article on Reddit. But he is talking about the removal of the programming category on Twitch. If you guys didn't know, and I feel like you guys should know at this point, the IRL section and creative section are gone, and they were split up into about 10 or 11 categories or so. And because of that, what ended up happening was programming was one of the categories that got split up, but then there was still science and technology. So it was like really weird. Like I never really understood why it was still there, but nonetheless it was there, and it was there after the merger or the disbandment of IRL and creative. And it was there, but everyone was kind of saying that they noticed that there was no what do you call it? Artwork for the category. It said programming, and that was it. It was like the default artwork. So people are like, oh, that's kind of weird. And I guess about 3 days ago, the programming category is gone. Kind of just reading what this guy is saying. He said, myself and many other streamers have lost our beloved programming category on Twitch today. This is detrimental to both my own stream and others who make a living and or benefit of Twitch viewership. Generally speaking, many of us have consistent daily streams and make content revolving around web development and app development. Recently, this new update out of the blue without any contact to the community has severely harmed our growth and statistics on Twitch. We'd like to send a formal message to Twitch and its team to reinstate the category, but first let me further explain the supposed replacement categories. And he's basically saying that the replacement categories that were created as in mainly science and technology do not give a good specification of what these people are actually trying to do. Apparently there used to be categories that were much more specific for what there was. So there actually was a programming category, and then there was actually, I didn't know this, an app development category. And then there was actually a game development category. These were all different categories, and I guess it's kind of weird because they took IRL and they split them into these more specific categories, but then with these gaming, with this game development, programming, and app development, they decided to bundle them together and merge them into one category called science and technology. So it's kind of the opposite. You know what I'm saying? But then there was no real discussion or news about that. You know what I mean?
Just listening to this makes it sound so confusing what's happened.
Yeah.
And
it seems like it's the opposite of what should have happened. But
yeah. And they wanted clarity, but they ended up confusing almost everybody involved.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be fair, it does seem like the thing that's going to happen is that the science and technology section, science and technology section is going to be the debunked or de facto category, right? But from what this guy is saying is that since he's made the switch there, since programming, game design, and app development have gone away, it's actually done a detriment to their stream, they're saying, because the science and technology category, people look at that and they don't see programming. People look at that and see, like, there's somebody on here there that's an astronomer and she talks about stars and stuff, right? They don't go in there. They don't see it as a place that people are going to go, oh, I want to watch programmers. I want to watch web coders. I want to watch game design or game development, right? They think that the category is mistitled and a little bit too broad for what they were doing. And he kind of argued the same thing. Why did we have such specific categories before that had pretty good viewership in each, let's say 300 viewers per each, then you decide to bundle them all up into science and technology? To be honest, I believe that it's fine. That's my opinion on it. But what is your opinion on it, Pixel? Just hearing initially.
I honestly think this is fine that it's rolled into science and technology because it does make sense that it would go there.
Mm-hmm.
I think more than anything, this is Twitch just pushing the use of tags,
Yeah.
and it's trying to force people to use tags more. Like there are game development tags, there are
Mm-hmm.
software development tags. So I think this is a push to use that more, and using that as a way to kind of build a community. And I don't really see there be anything wrong with it on its by itself. I know it's
Right.
going to be like a tough change for everybody. Everybody hates change. Everybody hates it when, things change and you suddenly go from 300 viewers to 15 just because you're in a different category.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's going to suck for a while. It's going to suck for a long time.
Yeah.
But I, at face value, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Sure, like, maybe we can look down the line and see, like, okay, maybe all the programming streamers on Twitch, maybe if they all lost like 90% of their viewers, something's got to be done.
Right.
Whether it's just, going back and implementing the programming category again, or, I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think you really hit the nail on the coffin with everything that you just said. The big thing honestly being that it's tags, right? They really want to push people to the curated tags and be able to use those to be able to specify what type of stream they are specifically, right?
Hmm.
Because I do believe there are tags. I can search right here actually while I'm on here, but I do believe there is tags for game design and game development and stuff like that, specific tags
Hmm.
in there. And I think that's definitely what people are going to have to start utilizing and start realizing if they don't fit into a certain category on Twitch, whether it be non-gaming or even just they want to add a little bit of flair onto their stream so people can find them so that they can stand out to be a little unique. Twitch is really trying to push the tag thing. Whereas before, I feel like the community thing was very optional. I feel like it was something where, sure, cool. I'm in part of this community, whatever. Like I can look at my analytics page. It doesn't really show me that any viewers are coming from this community. I think it's just something that looks cool on the side, right? But
Hmm.
now, when we do this podcast, we are under gaming news, educational, family friendly. And when I usually stream games, I put myself under family friendly. And I want to say that so far, using the tags, it's very early on. About 30 to 40% of my viewership, or new viewers, I should say, that come to the channel actually come from the tags. Whereas
Really?
before communities, nothing ever happened. I think people are searching like family friendly, and like I think
Hmm.
a lot of times, honestly, what people are doing for me, for my channel or whatever, is they're going to Hearthstone, or they're going to Fortnite, or they're going to whatever game I'm playing, and
Yeah.
they just type in the tag thing, family friendly, and it filters everyone out, and they kind of find me
Yeah.
from there. Whereas before, who would really search in communities, right?
Hmm.
For a specific stream or something, chill
Right.
streams, dog. You know what I mean? Like no one did that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, it's something that totally makes sense because, I don't know if you've ever created a website from scratch. You know how you have like
I've used like
meta?
Squarespace, but like, yeah, if that counts. Not really, right? It's like
I don't really
template-ish.
think so.
Squarespace is
But you can add
template-ish.
like meta tags up in the
Okay.
head of
Yeah, 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 yeah.
HTML. But like you can add like certain words to help search engines find your website.
Hmm.
And this is kind of like just the same idea.
Yeah.
And it makes sense from a programming standpoint, from a just a development standpoint on Twitch's end, that's probably one of the better ways for discoverability, is
Hmm.
if someone has some sort of just adjective to describe you.
Right, right.
So I mean, tags in itself aren't a bad idea, and it's cool that you actually have metrics
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
show
definitely.
you that people are coming in from these tags. That's
Hmm.
really, really helpful information.
Definitely. We're kind of getting off on a little bit of a tangent, but I mean, I also did kind of want to mention this with the tags. I'm still complaining about all the features with tags that we don't have. I
Mhm.
want them on mobile. I also want it so that I don't have to apply tags every single time I stream, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
Also, the tags that we have on this podcast are what show up as the tags on the VOD, and I cannot add any more tags to the VOD, which kind of sucks.
Mm.
So that's kind of annoying as well. I will say that I was watching some streams and some other podcasts and some other stuff, and unfortunately, I don't have the source for this type of stuff. But somebody was talking, and I think this makes a lot of sense actually. But they were saying that the tag system is most likely just a baby step forward because the AI learning on Twitch's end is very, very, very bad and in a very, very infant stage compared
Sure.
to, say, Netflix or even YouTube's algorithms for helping you find a video, right?
Oh yeah.
When you search for something on YouTube, I was searching for Android phones for a little bit on YouTube. I feel like every video then just showed up was like some helpful Android video that somehow
Yeah.
knew I was like a new user because of what I was searching for. And I feel like the tag system is just baby steps into probably just AI type of learning on Twitch, where it could suggest you new content, suggest you new clips from your favorite streamers, et cetera, to be able to get you to view certain things. And maybe even in the future, rearrange how streams are presented in gaming categories, so that they're not just listed by, this guy's has the most viewers in this category. He's obviously going to be in number one. Maybe there will be in the future a way for this, artificial intelligence learning to be able to organize them by streams they think that you find interesting because of your tags that you searched, or maybe because of tags that you've even used personally yourself as a streamer. So
yeah, I think we're also forgetting that Twitch, even though it's like been bought out by Amazon for $1 billion, it's still a very new company with a very, very new set of people. If we look at YouTube or something like that, we have a company that goes back to 2006. So we've got a company that's very, very mature and also has the backing of Google, and who deals with, searching as their main business.
Right.
So we gotta give Twitch a little bit of time to figure this out, because they basically have to start from scratch.
Right. We also just have like it's that also, and also like Twitch is still in this kind of like niche type of category. So they have like just growing pains all over the place, right? Because they finally kind of this year, maybe last year as well, they kind of captured a lot of the gaming market, and a lot of people took notice, especially since I feel like last year the big thing on Twitch was like a lot of sponsored content, especially from like these big game companies, these AAA gaming companies, as well as esports being streamed on Twitch. And I feel like this year, there was a blow up with a bunch of normies because of Fortnite. I feel like that's kind of the phase that we're still going into with the rest of 2018 and probably until 2019, is them really trying to push it and trying to make Twitch like a household name, whereas everyone knows YouTube. Not everyone knows what Twitch is. Heck, not everyone even still somehow knows what live streaming is. But YouTube is such ingrained in everyone. So I feel like Twitch is really pushing for that, and so it would make sense that also that their technology is pretty far behind something like YouTube, because they're baby. they need to pick up the slack, and they need to mature, and they're going to go through their growing pains as well as Twitch, as well as like YouTube, how it's gone through its growing pains and continues to go through its growing pains, unfortunately. But kind of a little off track, but I mean, it was a good talk about just the tagging system. I will say to any programmers or people who are doing game design streams or stuff like that, there are tags out there that will specify what your streams are about and stuff like that. I think that another good thing would just be able to network together for all you guys and be able to, come together in probably one category is, I feel like, a little bit more beneficial than you guys think so or realize. I've seen friends who stream IRL and they now stream under cooking or travel or art or whatever it might be, and their numbers have stayed relatively okay, or they've gotten even a lot more viewers. I know from the user end of things, I've talked about this before, but I was like, I didn't realize there were so many cooking streamers. You know what I mean? I didn't realize there were so many outdoor streamers, because it's so nice after having everyone kind of split into their own categories. You can go to one of these categories and just see all of them. You know what I mean? So
very true.
That's like probably the big thing that is, you guys will make it through. Science and technology will get through. It does suck that there's a lot of change and that there's a lot of difference in that type of stuff. But beyond that, I mean, that's just how it is, But
yeah, totally.
All right, guys.
Back on track.
Back on track. I guess we can go ahead with our last article, which I think will actually take a while to talk about. And we'll cover some big stuff here. So let me take a drink of my water, and we can start talking about this one. So, for anyone who is not involved in what we're talking about right now, and we kind of talked about it on Twitter or on Discord as well, but a big thing this time around was there is a video that came out by Disguised Toast, who is a Hearthstone streamer. And he actually did a video that was kind of off topic from the norm, from what he usually does. If you guys don't know, Disguised Toast is a top 20 streamer on Twitch TV. He does streaming full time as well as creating YouTube content for the game Hearthstone. He's also branched out into variety streaming as well. But at any given time he's streaming, he's usually the top of Hearthstone and maybe in the top 30 streams of on Twitch. And he decided to come out with a video that he said that got a lot of backlash, and a lot of his friends were really mad at him for releasing it. But he decided, you know what? This information is already kind of out there. I'm going to make a ton of views, get a ton of exposure, so I'm going to make it. So the video he made was called "How Much Money Do Twitch Streamers Really Make?" An inside look from a top streamer. And so that's kind of what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the podcast. We're going to break down Toast's numbers as well as the other streamers he mentioned in the video as well. If you guys want to, you guys can check out the show notes as well. There is a direct link to this YouTube video, which is only about 12 minutes long and pretty concise and pretty funny of a video. So I guess what I'll do is I'm going to go down each section and break it down, and then Pixel and I will discuss it and give our opinions on what we think about it.
Cool.
So some of these I think are pretty surprising. I thought some of them were going to be way less, and I thought some of them were going to be way more. So Toast is on any given day around a top 10 to top 20 streamer. Donations per month, he makes about 2.5K in donations per month. And for him, for the size of the stream he is with almost 800,000 followers and anywhere between 10 to 13,000 concurrent viewers, that's actually lower side of donations. He doesn't push donations, as well as he doesn't have text to speech or anything like that. So for him, donations are pretty small. For ads, he does not hit his ad button at all. If you guys don't know, partnered streamers have literally a button on their dashboard where they can press it and play a 30-second ad, 60-second, 90-second, or 180-second ad. For all their viewers to see. But if you enter a Twitch stream and you don't have ad block or Twitch Prime or whatever, you will get a initial ad. And that one is forced on you by Twitch. The streamer has no control over it. If you guys entered this stream or anyone's stream, then that's where it ended up. An ad was probably shown to you guys. He makes actually $4,000 a month from that, and I thought that was really surprising. And then kind of the big money here, subscriptions. As you guys know, since most of you guys listening to this know about Twitch, Twitch takes 50% of every sub. A sub is roughly about $4.99 or $5. So Twitch takes about 50%, which is about $2.50. And Toast has around 4,000 subs. So he makes about $14,000 per month, give or take. I mean, he's just giving that as a baseline. He didn't include his tier 2 subs and tier 3 subs. But he also mentions that top tier partners, which they consider a top tier partner, somebody with 10,000 views or more, a top tier partner, gets a 70% cut. So they get about $350 and Twitch takes the rest. So
huge. That's
pretty huge as well. And all that together, he makes about $20,000, let's say, base salary per month. But then he also considers sponsorships, but those are bonuses in his opinion. So his base salary roughly every month is about $20,000 a month. He also talks about sponsorships, which include live appearances, sponsored streams where a streamer plays something and uses hashtag ad or hashtag sponsor, sponsored YouTube videos, and Insta/Twitter pictures of the sponsored project. For streams, it's 1 cent per viewer, so about or 1 cent to $1 per viewer, between $1,000 and $10,000 basically per stream, and that's per hour, by the way. So he was saying that he has had sponsored streams where he's gotten $1,000 per hour. He's had sponsored streams where he's gotten $10,000 per hour, and those usually have a minimum of, let's say, 3 to 5 hours. YouTube, it's about $5,000 per video, and that video has to have roughly a 30-second ad in it, as well as focused gameplay on that. Live events, which is like attending a convention or attending a PAX or entering a tournament, let's say at TwitchCon or whatever that might be for a game company, those will get you about $5,000 to $10,000. And then tweets and Insta pictures for him are usually packaged in. Since he is a streamer, Instagram and Twitter are not his main platforms. So it's most likely about $5,000 per post. But like I said, that's wrapped into his streaming sponsorship as well and being able to stream it. So overall, dude makes about 20K a month.
Not bad.
And, that's pretty good. So, hearing all that, Pixel, what are your initial thoughts of that price point? And yeah, because this video has actually circulated a lot. It was on the top of Reddit a couple days ago, on the top of our videos, and a lot of other subreddits. It had, a lot of people have been talking about it. So, what are your thoughts and opinions on his salary and stuff?
Well, let's talk about this in terms of year, because I think most people talk about money like when, a yearly salary. So that's about 250,000 a year, give or take.
Right.
So that puts him on par with like the levels of like doctor or lawyer.
Before tax, remember that though.
Before tax, totally, yeah. Honestly, I think I don't see a problem with this. I don't see a problem with the amount of money that he's making, considering if you look at other celebrities, like if you look at a movie celebrity, they're making millions per picture, and that's over a few months of work. A streamer is similar in that they have a large audience, a large reach, and they have direct access to viewers, and that is valuable to companies. For a company to just they can pay a few $1,000s for immediate access to his 10 to 15,000 viewers, and that's pretty much chump change for a lot of these companies. Like, you can pay an advertising agency 10 times that, maybe even like 100 times that, depending on the campaign size. And the advertising budget, when you look at most companies, it's absolutely enormous. So this is just a drop in the bucket. And they know that this investment into advertisement is going to pay them back. They wouldn't do this otherwise.
Right.
So they're going to make money on top of whatever they invested in this. So, you know what? I don't see a problem with it at all. The companies know what this is worth. Toast knows what this is worth. I think if anybody has a problem with it, it's the viewers that that really need to know that this is what he's worth, and he shouldn't be afraid of that. He should just, he should never feel bad for selling out, because this is his career.
Right.
Yeah, he should be asking for as much as possible with this, and you know what? I'm happy for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that, especially on the selling out thing, because I will admit that I was kind of one of those people that's like, oh, sell out. Like, I kind of didn't like when streamers did that, But I will say that, the thing that you guys got to remember about this is some people are looking at this and they're like, wow, $250,000 a year to play video games. Like, that's really, really cool. And minus the stress and all that type of stuff that comes from streaming, knowing from it personally, and I'm not even a big streamer at all, and knowing from friends who are, anywhere from a big partnered streamers to small partners to affiliates who have been stressed out and burnt out from streaming as well. One of the things is Toast and other streamers, where it is their full-time job, honestly, they don't know where they're going to be in 10 years, right? Next year, Toast could, not be a popular streamer anymore and make a third of this type of money. I think something that people need to really forget about Toast is that he also started from YouTube and then transitioned to Twitch in December of 2017. It's literally been a year. And
it's crazy
to think about. And he was on the top 10 biggest growing channels of Twitch because literally of 2017, because literally he had of 2018, I mean, because he literally didn't really stream that much at all. You know what I mean? Before prior to that. So yes, there will always be exceptions. Yes, there will be the Summit 1Gs and there will be the Destinies and there will be those people that have been around for a long time and have stood the test of time. But that is few and far between, and you just don't know what, where Toast is going to be in 3 years, in 4 years. You don't know, the numbers might not be consistent. The pay is not going to be consistent. It can go up, it could go down. And, it's so random.
Yeah. I mean, these top streamers, we're talking about like the LeBron James of streaming, essentially. These are people who, they have no idea how long they're going to last in this industry, and they need to be able to just, strike while the iron is hot
Yeah.
and just take in as much as you can.
Yeah, I think it's also kind of a reminder that, like, in comparison with other entertainment jobs, they're not making that much money. I'm not saying that they deserve to make more money, but I'm just saying, look at basketball players or look at movie stars like Tom Cruise. Guy gets paid 25 million a movie. And people are like,
Mhm.
that's insane. But think of how much the movie overall makes, and think about, he's a small pawn in all of it. To be honest, what I mean, there's people
Oh,
above
yeah.
him who are getting paid a lot more than
Yeah, I
that. Look
mean,
at the Conor McGregor fight that happened yesterday. Dude got paid $100 million to fight for like 4 or 5 minutes, but the
yeah,
people are like, that's ridiculous. But think of how much money he will make in the rest of the organization, the
right.
sponsors, the advertisement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
Will happen.
I I always tell people, like, you think that's a lot of money? Just look at who's writing them the checks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how much money are they making?
Yeah, think of the
So it's
owners and stuff.
like, this is small fries.
Yeah. Um. So I think Toast just his pay salary. I think that I hope I don't know him personally or anything like that, but I do hope that he does is wise with his money and probably invests it in other things or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
because you know there I can only think, to be honest, on YouTube. YouTube stood the test of time just as a platform in general, of course, but I
Mhm.
can only think of a handful of people who have really been super successful and have super enjoyed their job still on YouTube after all these years.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
I used to watch when YouTube first came out. For example, I think the top two people that immediately come to mind are Smosh, and they're kind of around, but like one of the people left Smosh, like one of the guys. So it's just
Mhm.
like one dude now. And Rhett and Link. Those are like the two top, big YouTubers that I could think of that are like still killing it, still doing their thing, still rolling
Mhm.
in big views, and like it's like an established type of thing that's been around for a very long time. But I can
Yeah.
think of so many other YouTubers that I used to watch back in the day, where when I was in high school or in early college, and I go back and check out their channels and they don't exist anymore. They're
Mhm.
deleted, they're gone. They've moved off of YouTube and they're doing more behind the scenes type of work, and they're just kind of like
Yeah.
average Joes now. So, and I can see that
Yeah.
with Twitch as well, with Twitch
Oh, yeah.
streamers.
I look at it like, creative professionals.
Hmm.
How many artists do you see, like, having decades-long careers?
Hmm.
Not that many. Not that many have stood the test of time. Usually, they have, like, one big hit, and every other one is, they're moderately sized, but usually they just have, like, one big thing, and they don't really stay in the limelight too long because audience tastes change.
Hmm.
It's very rare that, that you have just, like, lifelong fans.
Hmm.
It's actually a very, very small group. I mean, if you look at old, um, bands or something like that, sure,
Hmm.
they have fans, but for the majority of people, they move on to whatever is new, is fresh, because we're always looking for new experiences.
Hmm.
We know what that artist says, he's got a great book, he's got, a great piece of music, but we always want to look for something new. We always want to look for something that's just fresh. And I think a lot of streamers need to be aware of that. And it's very, very hard to keep your stream fresh. I think any streamer who's ever streamed knows how hard it is to come up with new ideas every single stream, to be able to talk about new things every single stream.
Hmm.
So it's definitely something to keep in mind, um, as with streaming as a career.
Hmm. Definitely. I think it's also a good time to remind everyone who's listening and stuff as well that, we are talking about probably the top point one,
Oh,
point
yeah.
zero zero 0.001% of Twitch. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if you ever saw that video that was circulating about the guy who like kind of said he's going to quit streaming or whatever. It was like a
Who?
guy. I don't see. This is a sad thing is I don't even remember the guy's name, but there was a video circulating that got a pretty. You probably can Google it, guys, and it has a pretty substantial, large amount of views, maybe about 50,000 views or something like that. So pretty big. But it was pretty
Mhm.
much this guy that um pretty much said that he had been streaming for a year, had been working a part-time job because he really wanted to focus on streaming. So he had enough to, pay rent and, pay for food. Maybe not live, lavishly or eat out a lot or go hang out with friends and get, beers or something, but, make do. And he had been streaming, 5 days a week for 7 to 8 hours a day for a year. And he basically just came out with a video and was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done streaming. Like, I was told that my stream was really great, that I have a great personality, that I'm funny. I have a good computer. I have a good setup. I have a good overlay. I have good scenes. And he's like, I only have, 50. I think he said he only had like 1,500 to 2,000 viewers. At most I get maybe 5 to 10 views. I've been hosted by big streamers, and none of the people, after they hosted me, nothing stayed. Like, I don't know what's going on. And, even after this video came out, I went to his channel, and it was just, like, he had a very good channel, very good graphics, had the stream time down, was consistent, very funny type of guy. But yeah, same for me. Like, I did not follow him. I don't know why, but I just didn't. And so I think that's, something to remember, that, guys, is that, like, it's really hard to make it as a full-time streamer. You can have everything down statistically. You can have the good overlays, you can have the good intros, you can have the personality, you can be funny, you could be streaming consistently, or whatever it is. And for whatever reason, the RNG is not in your favor, and you just aren't one of the lucky ones, unfortunately. So I think it's a good reminder to remind people that too, briefly.
Yeah, it's really like capturing lightning in a bottle. And when you look at the top streamers, they're an example of that. They have all of those things, and for some reason they just have that audience. Like, they're there. And there is no mathematical formula for it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Toast definitely deserves this, because it's one of those industries where, he's getting paid a lot, but think of the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people below him that get paid nothing.
Exactly.
And who are doing this for fun, or who are doing this as a hobby. So I think that's something to remember about, his payments as well.
Absolutely. There was a ton of risk involved.
Definitely. Anything that surprised you about any of these statistics or analytics that you maybe wanted to expand about? To be honest, I was pretty surprised about his 2.5K per month donations. I didn't even realize he got that many donations. We've been talking about. Oh, I should add this though. He did wrap. It does seem like he wrapped bits and actual PayPal donations into one.
Okay.
So that makes sense. I wish that he broke down a little bit and said, how much of that 2.5K is actual donations and how many of those are actual bits. Because we've talked about this a lot on the podcast, and I feel like, I cannot remember the last time that I've personally gotten an actual PayPal donation and not like a bit. You know what I mean? Like a cheer bit. Like, I remember people coming in, like, sometimes donating like $3 to me, right? And nowadays it's like they just throw 300 bits. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, even in other streams, it's very rare to see people actually donating actual money. You know what I mean? Here's $25. It's usually here's 2,500 bits. You know what I mean? So I would have loved to know that, if Toast could have broken that down, because that would have been very interesting to me. Because I wonder how much it actually is.
Right. But I think it's like we said, like, we're starting to see a lot more bit donations, right, as opposed to actual monetary donations. So, I would have liked to see that too, but oh well.
Yeah.
I think what really surprised me about this is the ads. $4,000.
Oh yeah. That too, yeah.
For the month is surprisingly high. I don't know what the CPM is on these ads or whatever, but
I don't know either.
Or how many unique views he gets per month. That would help break it down, just kind of figure out like what it is. But that's an absolutely enormous amount of money. If he had no subscribers, no donations, no sponsorships whatsoever, he could actually live on ads alone.
Yeah.
Like, he would have a decent life.
Yeah.
That is absolutely astounding to me.
Yeah, I will make a note, by the way, when you watch the video, it is a little bit out of date. I think it took him a while to make this video, because at the time he mentions like how many subs Ninja has, and in the video he says Ninja has about 130,000 subs. So just an FYI, like this ad information is also when like Twitch Prime had paid ad block, and your Twitch
Oh
Prime
yeah.
counted as a full impression, as in you interacted with that ad fully. So it probably could be possibly a little bit lower than the $4,000, but that is a crazy amount.
That is absolutely insane. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
I see. So I'm curious because I feel like he probably has a lot of viewers from Asia, and Asia is predominantly mobile viewing, and so I wonder if they're just getting a lot of ads on mobile over there, and that's where he's getting it from. It would make sense. You know what I mean?
It's very possible.
Because that does seem like super high, the 4,000.
Well, I did say that each YouTube video gets about 5,000 per video. And how many views does each YouTube video get? Like,
Oh, so
300,000?
yeah, so for yeah, so he said that or it's like 100, he gets 160,000 or 170,000 views per video or something like that.
Okay.
But then I think like the CPM right now is like $1 per 1,000 views. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then he said like only 50 to 60% of his YouTube was ad blocked or something. So, that's pretty good. Like you're making 30 videos at roughly 150,000 to 250,000 views. Multiply that by 30, right? Then cut that in half to the actual views. You're making like decent change from that as well.
That's very decent.
I mean that's pretty good. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what his ad metrics are. They're pretty crazy though.
Yeah, it's really surprising. Like I didn't think you could get that much from a video with like only 170,000 views. I thought you'd have to give like 500,000 or more.
Well, that's all. This is also from him hitting the ad button.
Oh, true.
Like on Twitch. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But it is crazy that it's the initial button. Like it's the initial one coming into the stream, and not like he's not sitting there like some people do and just jam that ad button. You know what I mean? Because I know people who like actually I feel like spam that ad button like crazy.
Yeah.
Like there's like a PUBG streamer that I was watching, like pretty not small but like mid level, and I didn't realize that he like plays an ad like while he's in the lobby. Like he enters the lobby where the people are, you know what I mean? Plays another one there, and then he plays another one in the plane and while he's jumping out. So it's about 3 minutes of ads like every time. And then if he dies, he just does it again. It's actually pretty crazy.
It's annoying. I guess really annoying.
Yeah, because I realized my I don't use ad block, but hypothetically if I did use ad block, my ad block ticker was going up in my hypothetical scenario of using it. You know what I mean? Like really fast when I was watching. So what the heck? It's crazy. So
yeah, I mean, like if that's just the initial ad, can you imagine if Toast just went and pushed that once during a bathroom break for every stream?
Yeah, let's say once an hour. Like what does that mean? Like how much is he gonna make from that? That's crazy.
Yeah, if I could see that easily doubling.
Yeah,
and just by playing one extra ad.
It's actually insane, and it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see like what happens now, because like I did say, his YouTube information was a little outdated, so it'll be interesting to see what happens now with the whole Prime changes, because this information was obviously taken before the Prime changes, I feel like. So that was pretty interesting as well.
Yeah. To go back, I'm really glad that he opened up about this, because I remember you said that a lot of people actually didn't like that he went public with this information. And
I mean, that's just like the culture. I feel like for me personally, like my dad would tell me like how much he makes, and then people, he'd be like, but don't tell anyone else. Like you shouldn't tell anyone else how much you make. Like that's what I was told my whole life by like the people around me and my family. Just don't tell anyone how much you make.
Yeah, and there are reasons for that. Like it's so people don't know that you're swimming in money, and you become a target and things like that.
Right.
But if you're talking to like colleagues or something like that, I think it's a lot easier and a lot better, because when you're just going in blind, when you only know your own pay, you never really know how much you're actually worth. So if you know someone else's pay, that gives you kind of like a baseline to figure out how much your own worth is
Mm-hmm.
and how much you should be asking for things. Like say, I mean, say you're just a streamer and you just hit it big
Right.
and you're just like, oh man, you're getting sponsorship deals left and right. You get all these things and you have absolutely no clue what to charge.
Oh
Like
yeah. Yeah.
who are you even going to ask? Like,
Yeah.
are you getting ripped off? Are you getting a great deal? Like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
And sometimes you even have to pay someone for access to that knowledge. And
Mm-hmm.
so for Toast to come out with this levels the playing field.
Oh yeah, definitely. In a
This
good way, in a positive way for sure. I think more positive
Yeah,
than negative, at least in my opinion. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It gives people just like a baseline to figure out, okay, you know what? If can charge this and I have maybe like a quarter of his views, then I can charge a quarter of what he's charging.
Mm-hmm.
And wait a second, oh my God, that's like 10 times what I've been charging before. What the? I
Yeah.
could have been charging so much more. This is great. Then you use that as a way to empower yourself to just like give yourself knowledge and figure out like what you're actually worth. And this carries over to like all sorts of other industries too, like just
Definitely. Yeah.
your any normal day job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if I was in that situation or whatever, like it's kind of crazy, like it's kind of crazy, because I, if I was like a big streamer or something like that, and someone came to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to play our game for like $1,000 an hour for like
Hmm.
4 hours?" I'd be like, heck yeah, I do." Like, you know what I mean? That sounds like a ridiculous amount of money, but like, and I
Right.
probably would just take it. You know what I mean? But like, what if
Hmm.
I was actually valued at like 3,000 an hour? Like, I have no idea. That sounds ridiculous. Like 3,000 an hour? Like you just offered me like
Hmm.
$1,000, even like heck, even $100 an hour for me. Like to play your game sounds ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I would
Yeah.
totally take that. But it's great that Toast has released this video and stuff like
Hmm.
that, so that at least like for people who have just started streaming and who are newly partnered and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and who are becoming full-time streamers, it's a good way to be able to like kind of, like you said, level the playing field and see where they stand, because they might not have managers or people who can manage them like
Right.
Toast has management who handles all these things for him, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
and is on his
Right.
side. So it's great that he has that on him. which is
Hmm.
which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to pay for access to that knowledge, and I'm assuming that they have to take a cut out of every single business deal.
Hmm.
So yeah, it'd be nice to not have to do that, but
I think it makes
that's
life.
a whole
I
other
think it.
topic.
Yeah, I think it makes life. I think at the end of the day, it makes life easier. These people aren't business people; they're streamers. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I
Yeah.
think it's really hard for them to, you know, for them, they would like, probably send a bunch of typos and, say 5,000, take it or leave it, and that's it. Respond and not respond back. So I
Mhm.
think it's just easier for them, and they probably get paid. Hopefully, maybe they get paid a little bit more. They are able to charge a little bit over. Let's say they
Mhm.
want 5,000, maybe they charge 6,000, so the talent agency or their manager can take a cut of the 1,000, right? So they're still
Right,
evening
right.
out or whatever. And I know Toast has had a manager since he started streaming, so these were his numbers while he started streaming, while he's had that manager the whole time. So I mean, he's doing
Mhm.
pretty well still, even with that manager cut, which is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I was also a little surprised by the subscribers having 4,000 subscribers. I don't know why, but I always thought Toast had more.
Hmm.
Like that is a
Yeah, I
lot. Don't get
think
me
too.
wrong, but like, Toast is like up there as like probably one of the highest streamers. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I
he gets
mean,
about 13,000 views, and so that's very
mhm.
interesting to see that just because you have like you notice this in a lot of streams, but just because you have a lot of viewers doesn't necessarily mean that it translates into a lot of
Mhm.
subscriptions or a lot of loyal fans, which I
Right.
find really interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting. I would have expected him to be like double that,
Yeah,
to
same
be
to be
honest.
honest. Yeah. It's I thought that was on the lower side for him as well. There's a lot of streamers out there that just have very loyal subs and
Mhm.
very loyal fans, and that have maybe only get 500 views, but they have 1,800, 1,900, 2,000 subs. But I've only ever seen them with like max 500 views.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, there's a streamer that I watch. He usually gets about 1,800 views, but the guy's about to hit like 8K subs. Like it's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I just thought the sub numbers were a little low as well.
I thought so too. I think there's probably reasons for that. I could guess, but I think that might be for another stream.
Yeah. And then I guess breaking down really quick, what did you think about the sponsor stuff?
Let's see, the sponsored stuff. YouTube, a little bit surprising for the amount of money per video.
Yeah.
Live events, that's not too crazy, I don't think.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're actually having to travel to an event, like you've got to pay for travel, housing, which they probably should provide.
They probably
But
do, yeah.
yeah, so like for that amount, I think that's fair. I think honestly, it's very fair
Yeah.
for his level of popularity
Mhm.
and the fact that you are taking away time from your own stream.
Yeah.
So you're basically giving up the ability to create income for that day. So you have to look at how
Yeah,
much
or just
donations you get per day.
multiple days, yeah.
Yeah, if it's multiple day event, yeah, it racks up. So donations, ads, all these other avenues, like you have to count up all of that and bundle it up together and say like, hey, you have to be paying me this much over that in
Mhm.
order to make this live event worth it.
Yeah, so
So yeah, it makes a lot of sense that those live events cost between anywhere from 5 to 10K. That's very fair, to be honest.
yeah, I think it is as well. It's just it's not unheard of, and honestly, like think of how many times like you've heard of an event, where you have no idea what the game is, you have no idea what the event is, but you heard that one of your favorite streamers or comic book artist or writers or something was at this event, and you went to it, right?
Mhm.
Without even knowing what the event was about, what game they were sponsored by, or whatever. You just wanted a chance to hang out there, right? That brings
Yeah.
them business, that brings them eyes, that brings them exposure in some way, form, or fashion. So I'm not totally surprised with that either. I will say, just to kind of wrap it up, unless you have anything else to add to it, Pixel,
No, I think it covered
that
everything.
that Toast did say that he would wanted to expand on this sponsorship segment, and he felt that
Mhm.
that could be its own video in itself, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
he has talked about that he wants to do one on the sponsorship thing here, and then he wanted to do one kind of in a very Toast-like fashion called The Cold-Hearted Truth About Starting Streaming. And that was to aim at people who he claims comes to his stream and say, "Hey man, how do I start streaming? Or how do I
Yeah.
get big like you?" And so he is planning to do more series of these videos, which I think is pretty cool.
I think it's great that he's basically selling advice.
Yeah, not even selling it; he's just giving away freely,
He's giving it away freely, but
technically.
yeah, he's getting like ad revenue off
Oh
of
no,
it.
yeah, totally. Um, so yeah,
Um,
like I said, that video is in the show notes. It's about a 12-minute video that breaks down everything. He mentions his own stuff, which I thought was really cool of him. So we all know how much he makes now. And then he
mhm,
compares basically what he makes to people like Shroud and Ninja and Doctor
mhm.
Disrespect and other people, which I won't speak for their numbers because we're focusing on Toast video here, but that in itself will blow your guys' mind.
Oh
Everyone knows
yeah.
the sub count, but just to imagine if Toast is making 1 to 10K at his level of viewership, think of how much Ninja makes when he does a sponsorship for Uber Eats or Grubhub. It's pretty crazy,
Ugh.
apparently.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
yeah. So that
But yeah, I
is
would like to see
yeah.
his numbers on merch too. Actually, you forgot about merch.
Yeah, he did not add merch as well. From what I understand, and this is just from my own reading into things, it doesn't seem like merch is a very big thing.
Hmm.
From what I understand from a lot of people I've talked to personally, people who have done merch, it's more of a fan service thing.
Hmm.
The streamers that I know personally and stuff like that, who are fairly sizable in the 300,000, 400,000 followers or whatever. Basically it's basically merch just flatlines for a long time, and then
Hmm.
for whatever reason there'll just be a giant spike, and then it will flatline again. And that
Hmm.
giant spike could be caused by someone just all of a sudden really liked the shirt and started wearing it and repping it. Somebody
Interesting.
there was a sale for the merch for some reason. It was, whatever that might be, but usually there's a big spike and then it just flatlines like pretty hardcore.
Hmm.
I've had some streamers say that, like people who have like 6,000 views, that they sold 5 shirts. Sometimes they would sell 5 to 6 shirts a month. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But then
Okay.
some months, all of a sudden, boom, skyrocket to 600, 700, 800, 900 shirts.
Mhm.
And I know that they don't make that much money from them either. I think the
Right.
cheapest
That's
they can
true.
make them is about $18, and from there they only get about $1 or $2 per shirt. So it does seem like the merch type of thing
Yeah.
is more of like a fan service thing. I don't think they make that much money from it,
That's
unfortunately.
true. Yeah. That's
So
true.
I know Toast does have merch, but he doesn't really like promote it all that much.
Mm,
You know, it's actually
gotcha.
some pretty cool merch. Actually, I should probably pick some up.
Oh, really?
It's like
Okay.
it's
Let's take a
Hearthstone
look.
decks, like in like Toast style cartoon drawing, but with Toast faces on them. So he has like Spiteful Druid and stuff like that, or he has like Harem Mage, but it's like all with like pieces of toast spread on them. I don't know. They look pretty cool
Oh,
and
that's
pretty
pretty
unique.
cool.
But yeah, surprised that he didn't do that. But yeah, look out in the future for us to talk more about his other videos if they do potentially come out, or other videos that make their waves on the internet that pertain to Twitch and live streaming. But yeah, with
Cool.
that, guys, I think that is it for episode
That's it.
9 of the Deep Thoughts podcast. I think we went pretty fast with this episode, but I think it's a pretty solid episode as always.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pixel and I are trying to make it so that these episodes are about an hour long for you guys for your work, car ride to work or something like that, or just for a couple commutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as always, guys, you can follow Deep Thoughts Podcast on Anchor or on iTunes or on Stitcher. You guys should check it out there. Also, you should follow Deep Thoughts Podcast on Twitter, capital D, capital T, OUGHTS, capital POD. You can also find the VODs for Pixel's laughing at me again. You can also find the VODs for the live stream at youtube.com/Shigeos Twitch TV, SHIGEOS Twitch TV, all lowercase. If you guys didn't know and you guys are audio listeners, I should mention again that we do stream the podcast every Tuesday at 9 p.m. PST at twitch.tv/Ryan Kubo. So if you guys on audio only want to ever come out and say hey or what's up or see what we look like, check us out there. Pixel, where can the people find you?
Well, you can find me at my Twitch channel down below. It's Twitch TV/pixel_pusher101. Or
Streaming
you can
soon.
come by. What's
I
that?
said streaming soon, right?
Streaming soon. Yeah. But you can also find me on Twitter at twitter.com/pixel_pusher101.
Exactly. And like I said, guys, this was a pretty special episode since we are not going to be able to record on Tuesday, so we will see you guys hopefully next Tuesday. Next Tuesday?
Mhm.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
To be able to record all this type of stuff. But I'm Ryan. If you guys should know me since you found this podcast, but if not,
since you're here.
Yeah, since you're here. But if you guys didn't know, you can follow me at Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Ryan Kubo. Or you can follow me at Twitter, twitter.com/Ryan Kubo, and then also Instagram.com/Ryan Kubo. That's all one word, all lowercase spelling. So, yeah, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. This was episode 9 of the Deep Thoughts podcast with Ryan and Pixel. Thank you guys so much for all the support you've been showing us in the last few weeks. We really do appreciate it. But until next time, I will catch you later. Peace, guys.
All right. Take care, everybody.